We'll be right back with our special guest, Eddie Garrett. We're back with our special guest, Eddie Garrett, who's just released his 14th CD entitled Cuttin' Loose. As we continue our questions, another one of our viewers asks, on most of your CDs, you state that you not only write all the songs, but also in most cases, you play all the instruments. Eddie, how do you do this? How do you play them all at the same time?
Well, a lot of people ask me that, and it's really an easy concept if you've done any recording, which I know you have. Yeah. It's called an overdubbing. You go in and lay one instrument down, let's say a rhythm guitar down, and you play the whole song with the rhythm guitar, and the next you may put in a piano on top of it. So everything becomes layered on top. You know, so all these different instruments, drums and bass and keyboards and guitars are all added on, and then it just stacked upon another, and so when you play the final product, it all comes out at the same time with all the instruments.
Do you know who invented that? Who invented that process?
Les Paul.
There you go. I was saying right there, Les Paul.
I don't think that was his name. No. I think his name was something else, and they named him Les Paul. That was
I'm not
his nickname.
sure. I'm not
his
sure.
His name is something else.
Oh yeah, he might have a different name.
Yeah, he had a different name. But
all right. So not only did he build the guitar, but yeah, he pioneered that overdubbing system.
Yeah, and he used his wife. I forgot her name too. Yeah.
Mary Ford.
That's right, Mary Ford. Was she in relation to the Ford Motor Company, you think?
I don't think so. That I'm not aware of. But they had their hits in the
She was a singer.
Yeah, there's How High the Moon and those songs.
Yeah, he's the one that brought in the overdubbing where you could.
Yeah, I want to see if you knew that because I knew we had the guitar sitting right there. If you didn't know the answer, it's like, hey, it's right. The answer's right there.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Les Paul did.
Most expensive guitar you can buy.
That's a gorgeous guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, as a young musician myself, is there any advice you could give to those like me starting out in the music business?
I would say be aware. When I was young, like most young musicians, you're very naive. You want to be loved by everybody and everything else, and you have to be careful of the critics, the opposition. They're going to be there. You got it in secular business, you got it in politics, you got it in religion, and you're going to have it in the music world. I mean, there's the opposition, and the more you climb the ladder, the more opposition you get. And the opposition, I would just say, as a young musician, just be aware that the opposition is there, that you can't make everybody like you and love you, and the more you progress, the more opposition you're going to receive. And just the way I've been able to deal with the critics, and that is, you do take them serious, because I believe there's always truth in everything, so you find out what they're saying that's really true, and just use it as a motivation to make yourself better. You know, you can't please them. You're never going to please a critic or your opposition, but you do want to make yourself better. So I would just say critics and the opposition, just be aware that it's out there, and don't let it be such a surprise, and don't let it knock you down, George.
You know, a lot of critics initially praise an artist and say how wonderful he is, and then they build you up, and then they tear you down. Then you, you know, you maybe
You have to
start
be careful when you be
catering
complimented. Yes.
to the critics, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, no, we don't like this new one. So
Yes.
isn't it good to kind of be true to yourself as opposed to trying to chase the trends?
Please yourself. You know, be happy with yourself, your progression that you're in. Be happy where you're at in your progression of music. Music is on so many levels. I mean, you listen to the radio station, you got way different levels of talent, and so you may not always be the best, but you don't have to be the best. Just be happy with yourself and where you're at whatever point you are in your career, and people will be your fans, and they'll come around and they'll like you.
All right, very good.
You'll have your friends.
You know, Eddie, you've already accomplished so much in your careers thus far, and what are your plans for the near future?
Well, I've recorded, like you said, 14 albums, and I've recorded over 175 original songs to date. So there's a very large catalog of songs that I've done. I'm retired, but I do a lot of writing and recording still yet. I'll do a show or two a month. You know, I don't play all the time anymore, but I would just say I would just continue doing that, writing and recording, and doing TV appearances, radio show, interviews, and go out and do a couple gigs a month, you know, a couple shows a month, and that satisfies me at this point.
And lastly, Eddie, how can anyone get your music CDs? You have a website or
yes, they could
contact info?
Yeah, they could go to eddiegarrett.com, or you could actually email me personally if you'd like, ekgarrett11@aol.com. And I tried to get back to everybody that emails me, but just give me a day or two, and I'll get back with you. If you need a t-shirt, I sell t-shirts, DVDs of performances and shows, CDs, and sell all kinds of things on my website, eddiegarrett.com. But if you want to email me, I'll be glad to talk to you briefly at ekgarrett11@aol.com.
Well, Eddie, I've certainly enjoyed this opportunity to interview you and get to know you and your music better. And
well, it's good to be here on The Entertainer. I know it's a new show, and I hope you guys do well with it. And I'm just happy to be here. Glad that you chose me to be on it.
All right, thank you. You have been watching The Entertainer on the KNB network, where we feature and interview various established recording artists. I'm George DeJong, your host, where our motto is, music is the universal language, heard and felt by all.
Amen.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Garrett.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.